welcome to another Bad Movie Reviews review hosted by your two Maestro movie reviewers from Down Under, Ben and Daniel. And if you haven't picked up on what we are reviewing this week, it is none other than Maestro. It is, for anyone who doesn't know, it is basically the biopic about the love story and obviously the relationship between possibly one of the greatest and one of the most important in modern times composer, conductors, Leonard Bernstein, and his actress wife, Felicia Montenegro, I think is how you pronounce it. It is none other than directed, written, and starred by Bradley Cooper. So it's a jack of all trades situation for the man. But yeah, I believe it's coming out on it is a Netflix film. I believe it is coming out on Netflix streaming in a few weeks. They're just obviously hitting their needed run, in cinemas.
More sense to me now. I tried to Google sessions for this. I'm like, wasn't it on it? Like...
Yeah, it shows for a couple of weeks and then it'll be to Netflix because they have to show it in cinemas to be applicable.
Oscar.
Well, to be applicable to to be nominated for an Oscar. But without further ado, we'll get into it. Obviously, this is his second directorial film. Obviously, first was A Star Is Born back in 2018, so it's been some time since he's directed. But
It wasn't a bad film either, actually.
Great film, in my opinion. Yeah.
Look, for anyone watching this, I'd just like everyone to know that I, if you haven't watched any of our other reviews, that I have no clue about any modern culture, even previous culture, or any culture. So I had no clue who Leonard Bernstein was, and I don't reckon I ever heard anything.
To be fair, he passed away in 1990, so it was born World War I time kind of thing. So
yeah. But
so it's probably not. When I say modern time, it's probably not it's still that's 50 years ago. But
the only one I really know is John Williams, is it?
Yeah, but it's
Fantastic.
that's
Anyway.
that's a music, movie.
Yeah, sorry.
That's a composer. Not
Anyway, this film, I expected it to be shit, to be honest.
Funnily enough, it's a very raved about movie, so
Yeah, but
it's an odd thing to expect.
It's once again, we do a lot of these reviews. Ben is always the movie guy, so if any movie ever deserves that mega respect, I always get him to go first. Not to say this movie doesn't, but inherently I usually get him because he's the bit more of a movie buff, bit more knowledgeable on all of it and history and everything. Myself, I just enjoy films. But yeah, I kind of watched the trailer and then saw it wasn't really showing at really any cinemas, and I saw it was Netflix, and there was a couple of reviews there, and I was like, oh man, what does he put me up for? It's gonna be a movie. He's gonna be like, this is tops, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, it was all right. This movie was good. This movie was tops. This movie was good. It's probably the best acting I've ever seen from Bradley Cooper, next to American Sniper, but two obviously completely different categories there, but. Man, some absolute props from the man. To see him portray this. Sometimes you watch something and they're acting out of their skin, but they are acting a character. This was like he was the character. Yeah. You were gonna feel like something similar.
No, I was gonna say it would at times I felt like it was Leonard Bernstein. I didn't feel like it was Bradley. I mean, I've always loved Bradley Cooper. Going back to. Obviously, you started out as a bit of a rom-com actor in a way, Wedding Crashers, but Silver Linings Playbook was fantastic, and then he's obviously ventured into directing and all these. But yeah, this was. I mean, I'll let you finish, but yeah, no, I agree.
You can tell
he embodied this role to perfection in a way. Yeah,
without a doubt, he was that, and I don't want to go into any spoilers or anything, but. As the credits roll, it does show some live scenes. Not live scenes, but obviously previous
footage of Leonard Bernstein.
Leonard, and the mannerisms were identical to the way Bradley portrayed him. Absolute props to himself. And I've talked through the skin of how great he was in this film, even though I don't inherently think he's a fantastic actor. I think he's done some fantastic acting, but this was out of the skin. But do not give any credit away from Carey Mulligan, who played Felicia. Wowee. Absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if she counts as a main actor, a lead actor, or the...
Well, I was actually going to say this. He actually, I feel like this is actually her movie.
Yeah.
First of all, she's top billed. Like, she's the first one who comes up when it comes to the credits. I actually saw that when the credits came up. It actually said Kerry Mulligan. So, and Bradley Cooper's been on the kind of on the record that it's her film. And to be fair, like, she never phones it in. Like, she's always fantastic, no matter what film it is. Like, she was in Saltburn recently, and for the minimal role she had, she was fantastic. But yeah, no, I actually noticed that as well. Like, yeah, she was.
Yeah, I don't know
felt
if
like
they.
her movie.
I don't know if they put her like down.
She'll be probably main
as a
actress.
lead.
Yeah.
or if it's like
I think technically they're
supporting.
yeah.
But I'm not sure on like how
When
they
they play.
vary.
Yeah.
But like if supporting actor, she's got this in if that's what it is. Because she was. You're right. This movie was her movie, and it was her story. Despite it not being like looking exactly like that, it was her story, and that's kind of how it was portrayed. Yeah, she acted out of her skin. I don't know the word to describe it, but like I've never been so captivated just looking at someone while they exist within this film. So much expression. We always talk about acting through body language and just pure face alone. There was a lot of moments where you could really understand what's going on in her head and pain and suffering and love and everything there. And I was like, wow, this is great. Like, this is props to her. And I haven't seen a lot of her other work enough to know where she's like ever kind of starred. But look, this is the best I've seen her in, that's for sure. Everyone else, mostly just supporting, so I'm not really going to comment on all of that. Audio design, it's hard to like comment on that because I always put that alongside with score, even though they are slightly different. But audio design, I guess, very period accurate, which was fantastic. But also, like, use of the original, the real scores were absolutely phenomenal. And Brayley really made that his own without taking it away from Leonard too. So that was awesome. I had some other point. The way it was shot, actually, the shot directed, the colouring, all the lighting, like it felt like I was watching a series of films all at the same time and got to experience all different eras of someone's like growth throughout like their life, from being black and white to moving on to like color to now reflecting on modern times, like that contrast between it all, and then changing like the aspect ratios based on the years and things like that. Absolutely love that. It felt so authentic. The lighting was very similar to aspects of like On the Waterfront, where there was like intentional lighting. There was specific things added into scenes, and even some of the acting cues were very reminiscent of its time too. So even like the way it was acted at times were reminiscent of the time. And I felt like that's how the acting was too. I felt like that was very period accurate to each moment that passed. I don't even know where to go from here, so I'm going to throw it over you. I feel like I'm just jambling, but it was really good. I really soaked in this. What are your thoughts?
I love this film. I'm sure you knew I was really invested when I like started sitting forward like this in the film, like which I to be honest not really do often.
They were big seats though, to be fair too.
Well, yeah, but no, I first of all I got to touch on. Originally, this film was supposed to be made by Steven Spielberg, which, to be honest, I can envision it being made by Spielberg.
Yeah.
But after Spielberg witnessed and saw A Star Is Born, he actually requested Cooper to direct it.
Oh, cool.
And to be honest, I can't really imagine anyone else to direct it now. I think I would not be surprised in like 50 years' time when Bradley Cooper retires or whatever happens if this is like his magnum opus. It is so meticulously and well directed. He also wrote the film with a partner, and it's so meticulously and well directed, and everything is so. When you're watching the film, you can actually see that everything is so on purpose. The way the movie moves, like the editing is fantastic, but the way the movie moves is so down to the nitty gritty in the way that everything is like, even though it's a little bit over 2 hours, it rushed by, but every scene goes fast and every scene goes like, it's got this pacing to it. But then
Still digestible.
any scene with Leonard and Felicia is incredibly slow
Yep.
in comparison, and it allows you to soak in this relationship and the heartbreaking situation that the relationship is in, which I won't touch on because I do recommend seeing it, but it allows you to soak it in, and the way even the camera, like the decisions behind each camera shot, a lot of that within those conversations between Leonard and Felicia are particularly still shots with like a slow zoom or a very, very slow pan, allowing you to marinate and soak in every bit of dialogue, every bit of communication. It's got one of the best arguments I've seen on screens for some time, since like Marriage Story back in like 2019. But, and a bit of a funny like needle drop of, a big inflatable Snoopy going past the window, which is kind of funny. But yeah, no, like the direction and just the cinematography, like obviously, as you said already, like the fact that I don't know if it's 50%, but I'll just go and say it's probably around 40 to 50% of the film being in black and white. The lighting, for a film to look good in black and white is so ridiculously hard. It's not even funny because it's so heavily dependent on lighting and obviously the color in that situation, but then making it black and white, it looked beautiful. And then obviously switching to the color period, it's the whole film was just so stunning. The aspect ratio, the production design, like the choice of aspect ratio, the production design, everything including costumes, it was so period accurate. I was kind of just soaking it. I was really kind of baffled, to be honest. But I really respect the fact that they actually chose to not have an original score for the film. It is completely Leonard Bernstein's work, and that really felt special to me because, like, he's obviously composed, like, main thing, obviously, he was a big time conductor, but composed some of the biggest films, on the waterfront, a classic film, but like West Side Story, it had a score to it which was so epic, and it was such a companion piece to the film that made it so much more to me. But I really think the film came down to the performances. I thought everyone in the film, not just the main two, but everyone in the film was really good. Like, I had a great ensemble cast, but Bradley Cooper, not only I actually read up on it recently that he did like 6 years of training. Like, he's always had a niche interest in conducting, which shows. Obviously, he has a personal investment in conducting, but he apparently studied for 6 years to do conducting for this film. And even then, it's probably only one scene. But not only did he learn how to conduct, he also learned how to conduct exactly like Leonard, which is really messed up, to be honest. As you said, the mannerisms, the movements, like everything. He is absolutely brilliant in this role, and I would not be surprised if he does end up actually taking best actor at the Academy Awards. Like, I haven't seen everything that'll probably be going for these awards this year because, as we said, we get it quite late. But like, him and Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer are probably my two, not favorite performances of the year, but my two standouts where I'm like, they are at their, like, the peak of their game in this film. I've forgotten her name. Carey Mulligan is the same.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the other. I don't know if it's going to be best supporting, but her and Lily Gladstone are the only two performances this year for females. Who's obviously in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yep.
That come to mind for, like, these actresses are the best at the top of their game.
Yep.
I've still not seen everything, like Poor Things. I've still not seen, which comes out soon with Emma Stone. There are a couple other things, but she's absolutely unbelievable, and she just, like, draws you in. Like, you can see, someone's at the top of their game when you can see, like, pain in their eyes and, like, that someone is feeling in their eyes within a scene. No dialogue, no, like, performance. It can come down to the little nuanced little things that they do. It's not just about dialogue and acting correctly in that situation. It can be as little as a facial expression,
It's like feeling real. It's about feeling real, like those situations.
Yeah. But man, like, I absolutely, genuinely adored this film. I think come the end of the year, I would not be surprised if it is in my top 10 because I did really love it. Like, it was very special. Like, two of my favorite things in life are films and music, and the fact that this kind of, I always love a good film that obviously takes place within the musical world.
Yeah.
Paying such big respect to to a figure that I didn't, to be honest, I don't know much about, but I've obviously heard of his work, and just seeing that situation, it's heartbreaking. And like the whole film, I don't know, it just it did really move me, and I thought everything here was just so well done, just down to a T. It's just meticulous filmmaking at its finest, and some of the best performances you'll see all year, and possibly of their career, to be honest. And I applaud. I actually really do recommend, if you can, go see it in the theater. Because not only does the sound, like the score and the sound just work so beautiful in a theater when those speakers are pumping and you get to see that performance. But if you're unable to, which I can understand, obviously is a situation when Netflix do this, I plead everyone to go watch this when it comes to Netflix, if not. But
I actually completely forgot that he did on the waterfront when I made that comment, and then you commented.
I thought you did a pun, to be honest.
No, it's kind of one of only probably about 6 black and white films I've seen. So that's maybe shun on me there, but it was one of the only ones for me, including Gattaca, where I was like, man, these lighting, even in like the darkest moments, are so captivating, and you can understand everything, but it's still like hiding the right stuff with the lighting. All those purposeful things in the background and the scenes, and a light that's in the distance that's specifically there for either to light that scene or to point out something that's going to happen in the film. I'm like, no, that's great. That's where my comment. I don't actually put the two and two together.
No.
Anyway,
I did think you're making a pun, but no, this film is honestly beautiful, man. And I just like I will recommend this to most people. Certainly not for it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's not exactly Fast and Furious action, which most people, the general audience, will like. But like, I'll recommend my dad this, and he'll probably be like, "This is one of the best films I've ever seen." Whereas you won't recommend your dad this, you'll go recommend him Paw Patrol. But
Mum will love it, I reckon.
No, I do think most people will enjoy this, and even then, if they can't, like they can sit there and obviously admire the craftsmanship that's in this film. But if you have seen it, which you may have, I know it's been showing at film festivals around the world. I'd love to know what you think. But other than that, if you like our reviews and like our videos, please give us a like, give us a subscribe, and watch out for more content. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.